Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Now, unfortunately, today's video is going to be way more serious than my videos usually are. I know I typically don't try to make this kind of serious content, but something has pissed me off and it needs to be talked about. So, if you haven't heard, you all know what just happened. Charlie Kirk sadly passed away. When I first heard about it, I was really hoping that would be, one of those Trump situations where it'd be like, okay, I'm fine. And when I heard that he died, I was really, really sad and heartbroken. Which the first problem here is, you claim to want freedom of speech, and this is more kind of directed towards, the LGBTQ community or whoever else is hating on him that is, mocking his death in a way, which we will get to in a moment. But just generally, you guys wanted freedom of speech. You got it. Yet, for some reason, he's not allowed to have it. You want the freedom to speak your mind until someone else disagrees with you, and then you're too sensitive to handle that, apparently. Well, this good man just lost his life just because of that disagreement, and that is, for obvious reasons, not okay. And it's not even completely about him. He has a wife and 2 kids, as far as I've heard. They had to watch their father die because of someone's disagreement. Do you have any idea how sick that is in the head? And the fact that people are laughing about it and cheering about it, being happy about what happened to him, is even more sickening. A good friend of mine brought these videos to my attention of these people on TikTok, I think. I'm not really sure. But these people are, just making a joke about it. Basically just really happy acting. Like, what is wrong with you? And I've seen multiple people talk about how, he was a bad person, but I don't celebrate his death, which is understandable, although he wasn't a bad person. I don't know anything about, what he's done regarding, some super bad stuff. I've heard some stuff about him being, a Nazi or something. That's not what we're here to talk about today. Whatever he's done, supposedly, doesn't matter now. The problem is that the seemingly loving and inclusive and supportive community is happy about this happening and wanted this to happen. Why would you claim that you love everyone regardless of, their views or, whatever they say, because you don't? And obviously, I completely understand disliking someone who is disagreeing with you, but to go as far as to hate someone with a passion just because they speak truth or have different views than you is absolutely just insane. Which I understand, I've very strongly disliked quite a few people, but continuing to hate this man even after death and, saying, I don't feel bad for it, he deserved it, is just terrible. I really don't think words can explain how infuriated this makes me, and, I'm being pretty calm right now because, no sense in getting myself all worked up about it, but this is actually a really big problem, and this pisses me off, and people really need to stop this shit. And the fact that he was shot whenever he was talking about guns is, it would be funny in my typical fashion, but for once it is not. It's just overall really, really sad that this had to happen just because someone disagreed with him. Just because someone can't handle hearing the truth, or even just, at the very least, you can't handle hearing someone's opinion on them. Well, unfortunately, you're giving your community kind of a bad look, people. I've never been really a supporter of the LGBTQ community or anyone of that sort, but this is just way over the line, and I emphasize on the way over the fucking line. The fact that there's so much hatred in this community that is supposed to be loving and, inclusive regardless is just disgusting. I really have no other words for this besides please stay respectful in the comments. Any comments regarding him being a bad person or trying to talk about the shit he's done will be deleted and ignored, because all we need to be focusing on is respecting him and respecting his family who are struggling right now. So any hate will obviously be removed. I think it's time that you take the time and face this yourself and kind of realize the wrong that you're done. you can only go so far as, you know, saying that, oh, I'm not in the wrong, when you're literally laughing and smiling about a man dying. Are you mentally fucking sick in the head? Are you fucking freak? This world is really out of touch. This world is slowly losing it. And, you know, this is the start of it. A man losing his life because some snowflakes couldn't handle what he was saying. Absolutely terrible. But thank you guys so much for listening to my rant, and hopefully this kind of helps you to change your outlook on this better. And if not, that's fine. Just be respectful in the comments, or don't even bother leaving a comment if it's going to be hateful. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Goodbye.